Yes. Is audio video slide all clear? Yes, students. So I think mic was off. So I welcome all to the current affair class of VNK Civils Group, and we are really sorry that there was a technical glitch. Because of that, there is a delay in the class, and we are going to cover the current affairs for UPSC. So the format of the class will be like there would be one weekly class of 2 hours, in which the important news of the week will be covered, and these news will be covered in integrated fashion for both prelims and mains. So news will be covered in integrated fashion for both prelims and mains. It means the news which are relevant for both prelims and mains will be taken up. All right. So whatever we will discuss in the class will be relevant for both your prelims examination and mains examination. So let me give you a little bit brief about the current affairs. So current affairs is one of the most important part of your preparation, because you will find 10 to 20 questions in prelims, and the whole of paper 2 and paper 3, questions from current affair will be asked. In ethics, case study from current affairs will be asked. In essays, a topic of the current affair can be asked, or you have to use the current affairs as examples in your answers, be it in paper 1, 2, 3, 4 or in essay. Even in paper 1, many current affair based questions are asked. For example, last year they have asked impact of cryptocurrency on women. All right. So many current affair questions are asked. Like last year they have asked about in mains gig economy. What is gig economy? That was a purely a current affair based question. So you will find that most of the questions, especially paper 2 and paper 3, are from current affairs in mains. And prelims also this year, around 20 questions were there from current affairs, like Web 3.0, software as a service, Gucci, what is Gucci, etc. So current affair is very important to be prepared, and who have the mastery over the current affairs will surely able to clear the examination. So let me tell you, first we will do the basics of any concept. We will go into the depth of the topic. We will try to understand the concept, and one thing that you have to keep in your mind is that current affair mastery will not come in a single day. Like, you will not become a current affair expert in 24 hours. After 2 or 3 months, you will able to get command over the current affairs. All right. For that, you need consistency, regularity in your current affair coverage. So be regular, be consistent in the classes, and surely you will able to get grasp over the current affairs. And for your current affair preparation, what you need to do? First, you have to read the newspaper, that is The Hindu. Only one newspaper you have to read, nothing else you need to read. Second, you have to just read our class notes. That will be more than enough, because we will cover the current affairs in comprehensive manner. We will take the topics from different newspapers like Indian Express, Hindustan Times, or Times of India, or Live Mint, or even international newspapers like New York Times or Wall Street Journal, etc. We will pick the current affairs from important websites like ITSA, PRS Legislative Research, etc. We will pick the current affairs from Yojana Kurukshetra also. So you do not need to worry about your current affair preparation. You have to just follow the classes and the Hindu newspaper. That will be more than sufficient. That will be more than sufficient for your examination. All right. So if you have any other doubt regarding your current affair preparation, you can ask me and I will clarify to you. All right. So I think now we should start the class. So again, there is a little bit technical glitch. All right. So the first topic of the day is bail. Regarding bail. So Supreme Court has recently said that India should also make a new law on bail, just like UK has. UK has made a separate law on bail, and we should also have the law which is specially meant for bail provisions. Supreme Court is also saying that bail provisions should be made on lenient terms, in liberal terms, not in strict terms, so that the individual can get bail easily. So that is basically the news. So let us understand what this news is all about. So first you should know about the legal framework for criminal justice system in our country. See, for criminal law, we are using Indian Penal Code that was framed by Britishers for their own colonial interest. For their own colonial interest. This Indian Penal Code was made by Lord Thomas Macaulay in 1834. It was adopted by British government in 1859 and 60. In 1859 to 60, they have adopted the Indian Penal Code and Criminal Procedure Code. So Indian Penal Code, code means law. Penal means which is prescribing punishment. Like if you do murder, you will get 20 years of imprisonment. If you do robbery, then you will get 10 years of imprisonment, etc. So this is what the Indian Penal Code is. Criminal Procedure Code, like it is prescribing the process through which a person will be investigated or prosecuted, etc. So it gives the details about how a person will be booked under the law, how he will be tried in court of law, etc. So details are given under Code of Criminal Procedure, but the punishments are prescribed for various offences in Indian Penal Code. So the point is, these criminal laws, we have borrowed it from Britishers, and they are not made to serve the people. They are not made to serve the people. They are not meant to promote the democracy. They are meant to perpetuate the rule of Britishers till eternity. Till eternity. That's why these rules are made. All right. Second thing, there are certain constitutional provisions which prevents your arbitrary arrest. Which prevents your arbitrary arrest. See, state, that is government, is the most powerful institution in the society. State is the most powerful institution in the society. See, government can arrest you anytime. It can take you from your home and put you behind the bars. This happened especially in autocracy and dictatorship sector, like in Saudi Arabia or in North Korea or in China. Anybody can be arrested anytime from anywhere. But sometimes this happened in democracies also, like in USA, India, etc. See, if you have committed an offense, then police should arrest you. But if you have not committed any offense, then why should police arrest you? Police can arrest you many times on arbitrary or flimsy grounds, because you may be putting danger to the politician of the day, to the CM, PM of the day. That's why they will very much inclined to arrest you. So you do not face such arbitrary arrest from the government. Constitution has made these provisions. First is Article 20. That says that no person shall be convicted of any offense except for the violation of the law in force at the time of the commission of the act. What does it mean? It means that suppose Mr. Rakesh commits a murder, and the Indian Penal Code prescribed that for murder he will get 20 years punishment. But he has done very cruel murder of somebody, barbaric murder. You may be wishing that, you may be thinking that he should at least get 20 years, 28 years of imprisonment, or he should get death penalty. But the law says, Constitution says that whatever is the punishment prescribed under the law, that will be only given to him. That will be only given to him. So he will not get more than 20 years of punishment. He will get 20 years of punishment because that is prescribed by the law at the commissioning of the offense by him. Let me give you a real example. In 2012, there was a Nirbhaya gang rape. 4 people has done the gang rape of a girl. One of them was a juvenile. Juvenile is a child or below 18 person who has committed a crime. So he was just 2 or 3 months short of 18 years. But he was not tried as adult. That's why he does not get the death penalty. Rest of the 3 get the death penalty. Because juvenile justice law says that juvenile can't be given death penalty. He will be put in the restorative home and he will be reformed and he will be reintegrated into the society. Because Article 20 protects that individual. Article 20 says you will get the punishment which is prescribed by the law at the time of the commissioning of the offense. Suppose in North Korea, let me give you another example. In North Korea, you can't laugh on the death anniversary of the King Yong-yong, that dictator's father. North Korean people can't laugh on the death anniversary of the father of the dictator, King Yong-yong. If somebody laughs on that day, he will be put behind the bars. He will be given 6 months imprisonment. But such law does not exist in our country. Suppose you laugh on the Mahatma Gandhi death anniversary. Suppose you laugh on the death anniversary of Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, Nehru, or Atal Bihari Vajpayee, etc. You will not be given any punishment. You will not be given any punishment because there is no law in Indian law books which prescribe that laughing on the death anniversary of such important personalities will be a crime. So that is what Article 20 says. If there is a law which make any activity an offense, then you will get punishment. And punishment will be the same that is prescribed under the law. You will not get the greater amount of punishment that is prescribed by the law. All right. Then comes the Article 21. It provides you protection of personal liberty and life. Suppose you are arbitrarily arrested. Arbitrarily is when you are innocent and police has taken you for wrong reasons, for fake reasons, for false grounds, etc. So if you are put behind the bars, your liberty is being taken care of. Your freedom has been taken care of. Your freedom has been snatched away by the government. So that's why Article 21 says that you have the right to personal liberty. If you are arbitrarily detained by the police, you can approach the Supreme Court. Article 22 gives you protection against arrest and detention. For example, that if police came to arrest you, then it has to specify the grounds of the arrest, that which law you have violated for that police is arresting you. For example, Aryan Khan, the son of Shah Rukh Khan, he was arrested because he was in possession of drugs under Narcotics and Psychotropic Substances Act 1989. That's why he was put behind the bars. So he was informed of the grounds. He has the right to be consulted by the legal practitioner. He has right to be defended by the legal practitioner, that is a lawyer. So country's best Supreme Court lawyers were engaged in the case of Aryan Khan because he has the right to consult the legal practitioner. Then right to be produced before a magistrate within 24 hours. Within 24 hours, you have to put before the judge. He will decide that whether you will be put into the police custody or not, because he will examine the evidence given by the police. If judge thinks that the evidence are sufficient to put you behind the bars, then he will put you. But if evidence are not sufficient, they are flimsy, then judge will release you on bail. So Aryan Khan was brought in before the magistrate and he has given him the 15 days or 20 days custody, etc. All right. If magistrate give him the bail, then the person will be released. Just wait a second. There is a technical issue. So now coming to the bail. What is bail? Bail see, suppose you are innocent and police has put you behind the bars. So what will you do? You will plead innocent before the magistrate, and if magistrate found that you do not have any criminal background, you are a respective person of the society, then the grounds or the evidence are not sufficient to prove you that you are guilty, etc., then magistrate will release you on the bail. He will not keep you behind the bars. Isn't it? So the bail basically is given to the accused because our criminal justice system is based on presumption of innocence until proven guilty. Until proven guilty. So you will be presumed as innocent. It is the police that will collect the evidence and prove in the court of law through the prosecution that you are guilty. All right. So magistrate will release you, provided that you cooperate in the investigation. You will not tamper with the evidence. You will not influence the witness, and you will came to the court whenever the court summons you. All right. So that's why bail is given. So there are two kinds of offenses: bailable and non-bailable. In bailable offenses, you have the right to get the bail because they are very minor offenses, like somebody has slapped you or somebody has abused you, etc. If these kind of cases have been filed against you, then you have the right to get the bail. Within an hour or so, you will get the bail. Like you may have seen in movies that your lawyer, the accused lawyer came to the police station with the bail order because he was being put behind the bars in the bailable offense, where the accused has the full right to get the bail. Then there is second classification of non-bailable offenses. Here, the accused does not have the right to get the bail, but he can get the bail provided magistrate thinks so. It means that it is the magistrate discretion, it is the judge discretion to provide somebody the bail or not. If judge thinks that the person should be in police custody, then he will be put behind the police custody. If the judge thinks that he should be released on bail, then he will release him. So these non-bailable offenses are basically serious offenses like of murder, rape, or narcotics, drug possession, etc. Here, you are at the mercy of the judge. You are at the mercy of the judge. So now, what is the bail law in this United Kingdom? In 1976, they have made a separate law for the bail, so that bail terms can be made easy. Bail provision can be made liberal or lenient, etc. So that bail is the norm. Bail is the norm. Imprisonment is the exception. So that citizens can get as easy as possible the bail. Because it is the police responsibility to collect sufficient evidence to resolve the case. It is the police responsibility to protect the witness. It is police responsibility to keep secure the evidences. It is police responsibility that it prosecute the accused. So the accused has to be set free, because otherwise police can put anyone behind the bars on any ground. All right. So they have made the bail provisions very lenient, very easy. All right. So now what Supreme Court says? Supreme Court says make a separate law for the bail, just like UK has. Then there should be uniformity and certainty in the decision. For the same offense, what happens? Different judge give different judgments. One judge will give a judgment that will keep the person behind the bar. Second judge will give the judgment that will keep the person out of the bar. He will give the bail. So judiciary says for similar offenses, similar judgment should be there, so that people has the certainty or clarity in their mind that if they are put behind the bars on such flimsy ground, then they will get immediate bail from the magistrate. So that they could have trust on the criminal justice system that if they are framed wrongly, then they will surely get easy bail. That is what the court advocates. Then Supreme Court says on non-serious cases, the arrest should not be there. Arrest should not be there at place. If there is arrest, then judges should release him as early as possible. All right. His bail should be denied only if there is high possibility that he will tamper with evidence or influence the witness, etc. Otherwise, he or she should be given the bail. So bail can be conditional. Bail can be conditional. Bail is not like that unconditional it will be given. Court may take an undertaking from the accused that he will not influence the witness or tamper the evidence, etc. But at least do not deny the bail to the person. For example, Salman Khan, he was accused in black buck hunting case. So he is on bail. He is cooperating with the investigative agency. He is cooperating with the court. Whenever court summons Salman Khan, he appeared. All right. So that kind of norm should be there so that people do not lose their liberty because of the arbitrary cases filed against them. All right. So Supreme Court has said that its guidelines should be reached to all state governments, CBI, ED, police, etc., so that they keep in mind such guidelines so that people get easy bail. So we need to increase the awareness of the people so that they are aware of their right to get the bail. We need to train our police personals how to deal with the crime. We need to increase their facilities. We need to increase their salary, allowances, pensions. We need to provide them best infrastructure, etc. Then only we will able to give a good law and order to the people. All right. So this kind of questions has come earlier in the examination. So this can again be asked in the examination. So prelims, you can be asked about bail. In mains, again, the arbitrary arrest of the police or heavy-handedness nature of the police, need police reforms, etc. These kind of questions can be framed in paper 3, internal security, or paper 2, polity, etc. So you need to keep in mind these things. All right. So direct question can be asked in the prelims or mains. So now coming to the second topic, election symbol. This is part of your GS paper 2 syllabus. All right. Polity syllabus. Topic name, election. So this is the current affair update of the topic named elections in your paper 2 GS polity. So please, what you should do, you should take a printout, or you can write by your own hand the syllabus of paper 1, 2, 3 and 4, and please paste it on your wall. All right, so that you can remember the syllabus. The syllabus should be in your head. It should be in your head. So many times students ask me how to pick up the current affair from the news paper. So basically, whatever news is related to your syllabus, you have to pick up. The news of national and international importance, you have to pick up. All right. So do remember the syllabus. It should be in your head, and whatever news is linked to that syllabus, you need to read. You need to read and understand. All right. So what happens? Shiv Sena has approached Election Commission to stake claim on the party. So you know that in Maharashtra, Shiv Sena has been splitted. Shiv Sena has been divided into two groups, two factions, two rival groups. That is the one of Uddhav Thackeray. Second is of Eknath Shinde. Second is of Eknath Shinde. So both are claiming that they are the original inheritors, or they are original claimants to the party, or that is Shiv Sena. All right. So to understand this topic, basically you should know about election symbol, because both groups are fighting for the election symbol of Shiv Sena. Because whoever possesses the election symbol of Shiv Sena basically has the control over the brand of the Shiv Sena, that is the party of Shiv Sena. Because election symbol, a pictorial symbol, is being given to a political party by the Election Commission. And it acts as a brand mark or trademark or a logo of the party through which it is identified. The moment you came across the word BJP, you will get the picture of lotus in your mind. Moment you came across the word Congress, you will get the picture of hand in your mind. All right. So these election symbols signifies, represents the party, and these are given by the election commission. It become very handy for the illiterate people to vote in the election, because you are an educated person, you can read the party name, the party candidate, etc., and vote accordingly. But illiterate people basically identify the party through the symbol. They will like that if they want to vote for elephant, if they want to vote for the Mayawati, they will identify elephant on the EVM or on the ballot box. So wherever they found the elephant, they will cast the vote. If they want to vote for Arvind Kejriwal, they will try to identify spade on the EVM or ballot box. Moment they find it, they will press the button on it. All right. So both factions are fighting for the Shiv Sena party symbol. Now the second concept you need to understand is of parties. So every political party has to register with election commission. If they get registered, then they are known as registered political parties. For example, Kamal Hassan political party that he has registered, or in UP there is a politician Shivpal Yadav whose Praja Samajwadi party has been registered with election commission. There is a party named Peace Party that is also a registered party. When this registered party gets the state or national party status, it is known as recognized party. It is known as recognized party. So BJP is a national recognized party. Congress is a national recognized party. Samajwadi party, AIDMK, DMK, they are basically state recognized party. State recognized party. The benefit of national party is that their symbol cannot be used anywhere in the country. They are exclusively made for them. For example, lotus made for BJP, hand for Congress. Benefit of state party is that your election symbol cannot be used in your state. Cycle symbol is reserved for Samajwadi party. It cannot be used in UP, but it can be used in Tamil Nadu or in Andhra, etc., but not in UP. All right. So what is the election commission power in handling such type of disputes where two warring groups, two rival groups claim legacy or ownership to the party? So basically election commission decide that to whom the party symbol will be allocated. It means who is the real claimant or real owner of that party. So how election commission decided? Election commission decides in two ways. First is it sees that how many MP MLAs are supporting which faction. Suppose if majority of MP and MLAs both are with Eknath Shinde, then party symbol of Shiv Sena will go to Eknath Shinde. Then election commission sees how many office bearers or party workers are supporting which faction. Suppose office bearers or party workers like district president, state president, treasury, etc. are supporting Uddhav Thackeray. Then election commission may give election symbol to Uddhav Thackeray. So you may be wondering that if MP MLAs are with Eknath Shinde and office bearers are with Uddhav Thackeray, then who will be the real claimant to the party Shiv Sena? Then what election commission will do in case that MP MLAs are with a separate group and office bearers or party cadre is with other group? Then election commission frees the symbol of the party. It will not allocate the party symbol to anybody. All right. So it will give new symbols to both factions, and it will ask them to form a new party. Election commission will ask both factions to form a new party. Both factions will allowed to use the previous party name, but with prefixes and suffix. They can add prefix or suffix to the earlier party name. For example, Uddhav Thackeray can add the prefix like Shiv Shakti Sena, or Eknath Shinde can rename the party as Maharashtra Shiv Sena, Maharashtra Shiv Sena, या फिर or Shiv Sher Sena, that is loin. Sher means loin. So they can rename the party. So basically the original party will not go to anyone. If the MP MLAs are supporting and office bearers and MP MLAs are supporting different factions. If they are supporting single faction, then the party symbol, party name will go to that faction. For example, Akhilesh Yadav and Shivpal Yadav. In 2017, they were both claiming Samajwadi Party. So both MP MLAs and office bearers were with Akhilesh Yadav. That's why he get this Samajwadi Party control from the Election Commission. All right. So similar dispute has happened in the past also. For example, in 1989 between Jayalalitha Group and the wife of the MGR Group. In 1967-69 between Indira Gandhi Group and All Guards, that is, and Sanjeeva Reddy Morarji Desai Group. Similar divide in the party has been happened in RJD also, like Tejasvi Yadav and Tej Pratap Yadav Group. So these are very normal in our politics, and Election Commission basically decide that which group has the command of both MP MLAs and office bearers. All right. If any faction has support of both, then the party symbol will be given to that faction. If the faction does not have the support of both, then none of them will get the party symbol and party name. All right. So moving forward, next topic is Saravak. So this is the part of your GS paper 2 syllabus, health, and also GS3, science and tech, that is latest technologies that is happening around the world. So Saravak, it is basically a vaccine developed by Serum Institute of India. It has been given approval by the Drug Controller General of India, and it is now going to be used in the country. And it is India's first quadrivalent human papillomavirus vaccine. So all these things we will discuss in detail. We will try to understand. All right. So first you should know about cervical cancer. What is cervical cancer? See, this cancer happened in women uterus. So there is a tissue in the women uterus named cervix. All right. So what happened in cancer? There is abnormal growth of cells. There is abnormal growth of cells which damage the tissue functioning. So you can see that this cervix start getting outgrow. All right. So there is abnormal growth of cervix. That's why cervix is not able to perform its function. So women will face huge pain, blood loss, fluid loss, etc. And eventually it can be a reason of the death of women. And this is one of the most common cancer that women face in her lifetime. And this is caused by HPV, that is human papillomavirus. That is human papilloma human papilloma virus. It is caused by human papilloma virus. What is this virus? It is being caused by skin to skin. See, it is being transmitted from a person to another through skin to skin contact. That is why this virus is transmitted during sexual intercourse. That's why women get when she have sexual intercourse from the when she have sexual intercourse with the infected person. All right. So this virus causes the cancer in the women. So every fifth case of cervical cancer is in India. So we have 1,25,000 cases of cervical cancer every year, and out of that 60,000 get died each year. So there is already a vaccine for HPV. There is already a vaccine for human papilloma virus. That is Gardasil from Merck and Cervarix from GlaxoSmithKline. Both are US based companies which has made this vaccine, but these vaccines are very costly. That's why India is not able to purchase these, and it was not able to administer these vaccine to Indian women. But now the vaccine made by the Serum Institute of India is very affordable. It is very affordable. That's why now the Indian government can purchase it in bulk, and can administer it to the women in our country. So this vaccine should be given to the girls when they hit the puberty and before they have any sexual intercourse for the first time. So this is a quadrivalent vaccine. Quadrivalent vaccine. What does it mean? This vaccine can target 4 strains of the virus. Sorry, or so 4 variants of the virus. Like you may have seen that corona has many variants like Omicron, XE, etc. Because virus mutate itself, virus change itself so that it can survive in this world. So it can target the 4 variants of the virus. That is why it is known as quadrivalent vaccine. But the vaccine made by GlaxoSmithKline is bivalent. Bivalent means sorry. Bivalent means it can target 2 variants of the virus. It can target 2 variants of the virus. All right. So these type 6, type 11, 16, these things you do not need to remember. You just need to remember that it is a quadrivalent vaccine. And this is the first Indian vaccine which is quadrivalent. All right. So I think you should know about how this vaccine works. See, when we are administered corona vaccine, actually we were given coronavirus in our body. But this coronavirus is very weak. So our body will produce antibodies in response to this coronavirus, weak coronavirus. These antibodies are like soldiers in our body. These soldiers will destroy this weak virus of corona, and they will learn skill of destroying the coronavirus. They will also get the confidence of destroying the coronavirus. So when actual, active, strong coronavirus enters into our body is able to produce antibodies, that is soldiers, enough to destroy the coronavirus. That's why we will not get sick of coronavirus even if the coronavirus enters into our body. So that's how the vaccines work. So whenever we were given polio vaccine, we were given a weak polio virus. All right. So these kind of questions on vaccination, etc., came everywhere. This year also a question on vaccines are there, live attenuated vaccine or mRNA vaccine, etc. All right. That's why these are very important for the examination. A direct question can come on vaccine or on HPV, all right, or on cervical cancer, etc. So many people have questions in their mind regarding how to make notes for the current affairs. See, you do not need to make notes for the current affairs. You just need to revise it. So the PDF will be shared with you. Please revise it from it. More you revise it, more clarity you will get in your head, and more the information you will be able to retain. More information you will be able to retain. All right. So now comes to the next topic, renewable energy. See, our power minister was there at Sydney Energy Forum. There he says that India has achieved the renewable energy targets 9 years in advance. So whatever target we have set for 2030, we have achieved it in 2021. That is what being told by the power minister in Sydney Energy Forum. So first you should know about alternative source of energy. You should know first traditional source of energy. That is fossil fuels. That is coal, oil, gas, etc. So this fossil fuel based energy has limitations, like it causes first of all carbon emissions, which cause global warming, climate change. Second, they are not in unlimited amount. They are going to be finished. They are going to be exhaustive one day. It means they are not able to regenerate itself. So alternative source of energy provides solution or replacement to the fossil fuels. Replacement in the form of solar energy and wind energy. Then biomass energy, that biogas that we got from biomass, like waste, vegetable, fruits, etc. Even waste to energy. You know that methane is released when the waste start getting degenerated or decomposed. So this methane can be tapped to provide us energy. Then hydrogen can be used as a fuel, and it always releases water, which is why hydrogen is a clean source of fuel, and it is also have quite high energy performance, high energy density, high energy potential. Like with 1 unit of hydrogen, you will get huge calorific value. Then ethanol, that is also a alternative source of energy, that is being produced through molasses of sugar, that is the sugarcane juice. Ethanol is produced. All right. So now comes to the what are the issues in the renewable energy sector. First, we are still dependent on fossil fuels. Second, huge land requirement is there for the renewable energy production. Like if you want to produce solar energy, you require huge land. So you will face multiple issues relating to land, like you need land clearances, then land lease agreement. You will find difficulty in land acquisition from the farmers, etc. Then technological barriers. We still do not have the technology to produce our own solar energy, solar panels, etc. We do not have the advanced technology to store solar energy. Then supply chain, we are still importing solar panels from China. Tomorrow, if it blocked the solar panels export, then we will not able to generate solar energy. Even lithium ion batteries, we are importing it from China. Then it is not able to penetrate into other sectors. For example, aluminium, automobiles sector are still using coke, coal or oil or gas, etc. COVID-19, it has basically stopped the installation of renewable energy plants. So these are basically the challenges that the renewable energy sector is facing. So now coming to this Sydney Energy Forum. Sydney Energy Forum. It is basically a meeting where politicians, bureaucrats, academicians, business leaders participate. And they discuss how to shift from fossil fuel to clean energy. Fossil fuel to clean energy. So India has achieved a lot in renewable energy. We have achieved a lot in renewable energy. We have committed that 40% of our total energy will come from renewable energy by 2030. We have said that we will achieve 175 gigawatt of energy from renewable sources. Like we will produce 175 gigawatt renewable energy. And we have already installed 162 gigawatt. 162 gigawatt. So now we have raised the target. We have now set the target that we will produce 500 gigawatt renewable energy. So basically we are quite ahead in achievement of our target. All right. We are also laying out power transmission lines. So that the solar energy produced, suppose in Rajasthan, can be transported to West Bengal. Wind energy, suppose produced in Tamil Nadu, can be transported to Haryana. So we are laying out transmission lines so that the renewable energy plants can be connected to the power grid. Government has taken many steps also, like in National Solar Mission, subsidies being provided for purchase of solar modules. In Pradhan Mantri Kusum Yojana, subsidies given to farmer so that it can put solar panel in its field so that it can produce its own electricity. Then it can install solar pumps. So to drive water from underground, like it can drive groundwater through solar pumps. So that is basically the Kusum Yojana. In Atal Jyoti Yojana, solar based street lighting was installed across the country. So this street lighting get the electricity from the solar panel that is laid on its overhead. All right. Then solar power scheme here under plug and play model. Big solar parks are established. How? These solar power producers will be given land, road, connectivity, electricity, etc. beforehand. He does not need to purchase land. He does not need to be worried about electricity connection or road connectivity or water facility, etc. All things will be provided in advance by the government. Just it has to put, or it has to just install its solar panels. That is basically plug and play model. Plug and play model, like you put in the socket your mobile charger and you start playing your mobile. So plug and play. Everything is ready in advance. In green energy corridor, these solar power plants are being connected to the grid. So that power produced in Karnataka can be sold in Manipur. It means it can be sold anywhere in the country. International Solar Alliance. This grouping has been made by India so that solar energy across the world can be harnessed. So energy transition is not going to be easy. We need to invest huge capital, that is money, technology, etc. in the sector. Then only we will able to realize the full benefits of the renewable energy. All right, we need to promote domestic manufacturing so that we are not dependent on any other country for solar panels, etc. And we need to came out of this COVID-19 crisis, and we need to speed up the deployment of renewable energy. All right. So now come to the next topic, Central Consumer Protection Authority rules. Central Consumer Protection Authority rules. So the Central Consumer Protection Authority has come out with new rules regarding service charge. This is basically the news, and this is basically a miscellaneous topic. It can be asked directly in prelims or in any of the GS paper 1, 2, 3 or 4, or even it can be asked as a case study. Because this kind of similar question has been asked previously on consumer rights. So let's discuss this Central Consumer Protection Authority. It has been established under Consumer Protection Act. It basically makes rules to protect consumer interest, to protect consumer rights, to protect consumers from unfair trade practices, misleading marketing, or fraudulent activities. You as a customer many times get cheated by the seller. For example, in marketing, in advertisement, they will show you a big packet of Lays, but when you actually buy it, you will get a very small size chips packet. Or fraudulent activities, like you may have seen that a big television and print advertisement was done where a person has claimed that he will provide you the smartphone in just 1,000 rupees, but you have to deposit 500 rupees in advance. So this is a fraudulent activity by the business house. Third, unfair trade practices. For example, Britannia. It shows on the packet that the bread cakes consists of 70 grams, but in actual, the bread cakes were found to be of only 50 grams. So they were cheating you by the 20 grams. That is, they were giving you 1/4 less quantity. So somebody has challenged Britannia in consumer court and get lakhs of rupees as compensation. So unfair trade practices. So Central Consumer Protection Authority protects you from all of these kind of activities. So now what is service charge? So you may have found that in hotels or in restaurants, in your bill, like after you have eaten up your dinner, then in your bill you will find this service charge. Many times people think that it's a kind of charge imposed by the government. It's a kind of a tax they have to pay, but it is not. It is basically a charge by the hotel or restaurant for the services they have given to you, for the good services they have given to you, like the waiters or the staff, they have talked to you with in polite manner, they have served you well, they were responsive, etc. So for that they charge you the money. Earlier, you used to give tip to a waiter for such good services. But nowadays, hotels and restaurants start charging you officially in the bill for such services. So many consumers has complained about it. Why? Because they are being forced to pay such service charge. It should be voluntary on their part. Voluntary. Whether they want to pay it or not, that should be their right to decide. But many hotel and restaurant insist or become adamant to collect the service charges from the consumers. All right. So now these new guidelines says that imposing service charge is like taking money from consumers beyond MRP. Consumer Protection Act says that nobody can charge you beyond MRP, like nobody can charge you the amount greater than MRP. That would be the maximum retail price. Maximum retail price. Maximum retail price. So that's why Central Consumer Protection Act Authority, sorry, Central Consumer Protection Authority has banned the imposition of service charge on the consumers. Now, no hotel, no restaurant can charge the service charge from you. If they charge, you can deny it to pay. If they insist to pay, then you can raise complaint with Central Consumer Protection Authority. Then you can raise complaint with Central Consumer Protection Authority. You can call the hotline, National Consumer Hotline, that is 1915. You can dial this number and can raise your complaint. All right. So giving service charge should be voluntary on the part of consumer. Whether he or she wants to give it, that should be his or her choice. All right. But this guidelines has been stayed or put on hold by Delhi High Court. By Delhi High Court. Delhi High Court says that these are not guidelines, these are prohibitions. You have just prohibited or banned the hotel and restaurants to impose service charge. This Central Consumer Protection Authority can't do it. Can't do it. Delhi High Court says you can make the guidelines or rules or regulations for it, but you can't prohibit it. Delhi High Court says restaurants can add the service charge in the bill. If somebody does not want to pay service charge, then the person can choose not to eat in that restaurant. Delhi High Court says that if somebody do not want to pay the service charge, then he or she choose not to eat in that hotel or restaurant. Then Delhi High Court says that in the menu itself, or consumer should be informed in advance that if they eat in the restaurant, if they stay in the hotel, they will be imposed service charge. Then it will be the consumer choice whether to eat in the restaurant or whether to stay in the hotel. All right. So they will be informed in advance. So in my opinion, service charge should be voluntary. It can be put in bill, but consumer should not be forced to pay it. So you can see that previously also on consumer rights question has been asked in UPSC. So on these guidelines, direct question can be asked in prelims and in mains also. Like a case study in ethics can also came. All right. So moving forward to the next topic, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana. So this is the part of your paper 3, agriculture. So what happened recently? Andhra government has rejoined the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Earlier, Andhra government has withdrawn itself from Fasal Bima Yojana. Now it has rejoined again. So this is the news. So let us understand it. So first we should know what is Fasal Bima Yojana. It was launched in 2016 by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. Earlier there were two schemes of government, National Agriculture Insurance Scheme and Modified National Agriculture Insurance Scheme. So it has replaced these schemes. It is basically, you can say, re-christened avatar of these schemes. So these schemes were reformed and were relaunched by the rebranding of PM Fasal Bima Yojana. So the farmers who have the land, they are eligible to get the insurance, and the farmers who do not have the land, they are basically doing the farming on lease or on rent, that is known by the name of, they are also eligible to get the insurance. So the concept of farm insurance is like a farmer do a very peculiar business. He invests 6 months in agriculture. He put his sweat in the field. He invests a lot of money in the field. But suddenly, rainfall will come, heavy rainfall that will destroy his crops. Or maybe hailstorm may come. Or maybe locust attack will be there and his crop will get damaged. And he will incur heavy losses. Then he will get into high debt burden. To get relief of this high debt burden, he will claim for loan waivers. He will get the loan waivers, but it will not solve his problem. Because the farming can be made more remunerative by investment in irrigation, by providing 24/7 electricity to the farmer, road connectivity, marketing facilities, cold storage facilities, etc. So these loan waivers diverts the government money from building these infrastructure facilities for the farmer to waiving of the loan. So this debt burden problem will re-emerge after every 4 or 5 years or so, whenever the farmer get heavy losses because of damage to his or her crop. So then what should be the solution? Solution is tried to be solution is sought to be found out in Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Here we are going to insure the crops of the farmer. If it get damaged, then farmer will get the compensation from the insurance company. And if the farmer get timely compensation without having any burden of heavy premiums of the insurance, then he will not come under this debt burden and he will not seek the loan waivers. And the state can, that is the government can utilize its resources to invest in cold storage facilities, marketing facilities, irrigation, electricity, etc. So you can see that in this scheme, the farmer has to pay just 2% premium for Kharif crops, 1.5 for Rabi crops. Suppose 1,50,000 worth of crops, 1,50,000 worth of crop has been insured under this scheme, and the premium amount is 5,000 rupees. So farmer has to pay just 100 rupees. Rest 5,900 will be borne by center and state government together. They will share this amount 50-50. They will share this amount in 50-50 manner. So farmer has very minimal burden to pay the premium. So it is 2% for Kharif crops, 1.5 for Rabi crops, and 5% for commercial crops like sugarcane, tea, coffee, etc. A private insurance like Reliance or Bajaj, etc. will be chosen, or public insurance like GSC can be chosen. Whoever put the lowest bid will be selected. The technology will be used like drones, like smartphones, like satellites, remote sensing satellites, etc. to settle the claims as fast as possible. Like by smartphone, they can click the pictures and show it to insurance companies that crops has been damaged. This can be verified by pics from the drones, satellite images, etc. And the insurance company can pay the claim as fast as possible. So overall, it was a very good scheme. It was helped the farmer to come out of the financial crisis and invest in agriculture. But over the period of time, it has been found that this scheme was not able to bring the desired changes that it wants. Because first, state governments found it difficult to finance its 50% of share. They are saying that we do not have the money. Second, state government was thinking that if they are paying such a high amount of premium share, if they are paying such a high amount of premium share, then instead of being participant to the central government scheme, why don't they launch their own scheme? For example, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, etc. have launched their own scheme. OP crop, they have launched their own crop insurance scheme. They have launched their own crop insurance scheme. So if they implement this crop insurance scheme, they will get the votes from the farmers. If they implement Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, the votes will be given to Narendra Modi ji or BJP. So that's why many states have opted out from the scheme. Third, insurance company like Reliance in Maharashtra, they were complaining that state governments does not pay their share of premium timely. That's why they were not able to pay the farmers. They were not able to settle the farmer claim on time. Many times private sector withdraw from this scheme because they found it loss-making venture. That's why whole scheme is getting dependent on public sector insurance companies. Then what these private companies do, for example, in Vidarbha, in Maharashtra, every year drought came. They will not insure that region. In Bihar, every year floods will come. They will not insure that. They will not insure that region. In Rajasthan, there will be every year locust attack. So they are not going to insure the locust attack prone region of the Rajasthan. So when the critical areas are not insured, then what is the purpose of this? What is the purpose of this scheme left? I mean, this scheme become ineffective to provide meaningful compensation to those farmers who lose their crops every year. So this also defeats the objective of the scheme. All right. So that were basically the issues that the scheme face. So way forward is we need to reform this scheme so that it can be suited to the needs of both state governments, insurance companies, and most importantly, farmers. All right. So all the stakeholders should be happy by this scheme. Then only we will be able to effectively implement such scheme. So previously you can find that the question has been directly asked from Fasal Bima Yojana in prelims, and direct question has also came in 2016 mains also. All right. So again, a direct question can be asked in prelims and mains. Prelims and mains. So any doubt to anyone? Please ask. Any doubt anyone has? Please ask. All right. Moving forwards to the next topic, global minimum tax day. So recently G20, that G20 means group of 20. So there are top 20 economies of the world. So countries which has highest incomes in the world, they meet quite regularly and decide that how the global economic or political system should function. So G20 is basically grouping of the 20 countries which has the highest incomes. India is also the member of G20. So G20 meeting of finance minister has happened recently in Bali, Indonesia. So there they have discussed about this global minimum tax deal. Global minimum tax deal. So what is this global minimum tax deal? See, you have to understand the context for understanding this concept. See what happens. There are big multinational companies like Apple, Pepsi, Coke, Microsoft, all right, Google, etc. One thing common among these companies is that they do not pay the taxes. Either they do not pay the taxes or they pay very nominal amount of taxes, very less amount of taxes, like 3 or 5%, etc. Despite the fact countries charge them 20% tax or maybe 25% tax, 30% tax, 15% tax, etc. So then you may be wondering how they do that. They either do that by the help of CAs, chartered accountants. They will pay them high amount of salary, etc., so that they can find the loopholes in the tax acts so that the company pay minimal amount of tax. Second, what they do, they register themselves in tax haven countries like Cayman Island, Barbados, Netherlands, Mauritius, etc. These countries have 0% taxation. So they will show themselves as like company of Cayman Island or Mauritius, etc. And they will claim that they are going to pay the taxes in Mauritius, Cayman Island, but there is no tax. Or what they will do, they will transfer the profits that they have earned from India, from Indonesia, from Vietnam, from Sri Lanka, from America, from UK, etc. to these tax haven countries. To these tax haven countries. So that they are not taxed. They also earn a good amount of profits from royalty, like royalties charged from copyright, like the softwares they allowed their software to be used by others. For that they charge royalty, or for music they charge like royalty. All right. So royalty, patent, usage rights, etc. So they will show themselves as the company of Cayman Island, Barbados, etc. And there is no tax on royalty. So they will pay very minimal tax. So this deal is basically meant to stop such practices of these multinational companies, so that they at least pay a minimum amount of tax, to the national governments. So they should pay at least minimum amount of tax to the national governments. Second context of this scheme is that there is quite often dispute between the countries that who has the right to tax these companies. Let me give you example. USA. USA is the home country of Google. India is the host country. We are hosting Google. Google is earning thousands of crore rupees in India. Google is earning thousands of crore rupees in India. USA is saying that I am going to tax it. India is saying that I am going to tax it. So there is a dispute between the countries regarding who has the right to impose the tax. So this deal resolve all these issues. This deal resolve all these issues. First, it says that companies has to pay at least 15% tax for the income they have earned. At least 15% tax on the income they have earned. In which country they are going to pay the tax? In the host country. So it settles the dispute. It gives the host country right to impose at least 15% tax on these multinational companies. So this scheme has two pillars. First, that host country has the right to impose the tax. All right. Pillar 2, that there will be minimum 15% tax. Suppose this Cayman Island impose 5% tax. All right. Or suppose, okay, Bangladesh, in order to attract Google, Microsoft, etc. to its country, it impose just 10% tax. Then America, that is the parent country, home country of Google, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, etc., can impose the remaining 5% tax. So in a nutshell, the companies has to pay 15% tax, 10% to Bangladesh, 5% to America. If Bangladesh impose 15% tax, then 15% to Bangladesh, 0 to America. All right. There are companies who generate abnormal profits. Abnormal means excessive profits. See, every businessman has right to make profits, but it should be reasonable. Reasonable is like 10%. Suppose a businessman is selling, suppose Lay's chips to you. So 2000 rupees worth of Lay's chips he has sold to you. So he has the right to get 200 rupees as profit. That is 10%. Beyond 10%, profit is deemed to be abnormal. So there are many companies who are earning 25 to 30% profits. For example, Pepsi, Coke, or your energy drinks energy drinks, etc. So you can impose higher rate of taxes on these companies which are earning excessive profits. So this company allowed to impose 25% tax on these excessive profit generating companies. So what is the significance of this deal? So every country will get fair share in the taxes. This MNC will pay a fair amount of tax to the host country. That is the country in which they have earned their income. All right. The tax competition will be ended because in order to attract FDI, each country was giving red carpet to these companies by lowering the taxes as much as possible. Like one country was saying that I will impose just 10% tax, other country was saying that I will impose 5% tax, third country was saying that I will impose 0% tax. So these MNC will not able to evade their taxes, they will not able to shift their profits to these tax haven countries, and they have to pay a minimum amount of tax to the country in which they have earned the income. And OECD, that is Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. So it is basically a European organization established in 1961. So this is the body which is coordinating this deal. It has framed this deal and it is letting the other countries, it is basically convincing the other countries to sign this deal. So OECD has estimated that countries will get at least $150 billion rupees as tax revenue from this MNC. All right. And even after COVID-19, where businesses has been shut down and taxes of the government also get a hit. Why? Because if the business are in loss, they will not able to pay the taxes. So in this COVID-19 time, the government will get necessary amount of tax and they will able to use it on social welfare activities. Then what are the challenges? The tax haven countries like Ireland is opposing this deal. Then this scheme is supposed to be implemented from 2023. So it is very harsh, or you can say strict deadline to be complied. Then companies are saying that we are advocating like a minimum taxes on us, like 5% or maybe 7%, etc. But this deal set the rate at 15%. Many countries are saying that they are interested in imposing like 30% tax on corporates, 25% tax on corporates. But this deal forced them to just impose the 15% tax. So to make up this shortfall, they have to raise the personal income tax. They will get less amount of money from corporate tax. That's why they have to raise the personal income tax. Then this deal is also impacting the sovereignty of the country. Sovereignty means supreme power. Supreme power. Sovereignty means supreme power. So here countries are not deciding what rate they want to impose. Here countries are not deciding what rate they want to impose. Here this deal is deciding which rate the country has to impose. That is 15%. All right. So these are basically the challenges. So suggestions by India is there. Our finance minister says that it should not impact the developing countries or poor countries. This deal should not cause any dent or any decrease in the government revenue. So we need to make sure that rules of this deal are framed in such a manner that it does not impact any country adversely. All right. So now comes to another topic again relating to vaccine, that is diphtheria, tetanus and pertussis vaccine. So what happened? UNICEF report has recently came. UNICEF report has recently come, where it says that because of COVID-19, 30 lakh children have missed their DPT vaccine. So they are now vulnerable to diphtheria, tetanus and pertussis. They can get this disease because they are not administered the vaccine. Let me give you brief about this disease. All right. So in tetanus, what happens? The muscles start getting contracted and they also get jammed. So sometimes whenever a person gets tetanus, his mouth is not able to even function and he was not able to chew anything, and eventually the death can happen. In pertussis, it is also known as whooping cough. Whooping cough. So it's a respiratory disease and it is also infectious. It can spread from one person to another if the other person get in contact with the fluid of the body of the infected person. All right. If the body fluid came out during sneezing or during the cough, the second person can get affected if he or she get in touch with that. Diphtheria. This basically occurs in the throat. Again, it's an infectious disease and it can also block the passage of the air in the person. So all these three diseases, diphtheria, tetanus and pertussis, they are caused by bacteria. They are caused by bacteria. So there is a vaccine that is known as DPT vaccine that is being administered to the child, even to pregnant women and even to adults. And this vaccine helps to prevent such disease in the child. Because I've already explained the concept of vaccination, because it develops the immunity, the natural ability of the body to destroy the bacteria, because it will help the body to produce antibodies to destroy the diphtheria, tetanus and pertussis bacteria whenever they came in to the body. So what are the major findings of the vaccine? Major finding of the UNICEF. So it says that there is the largest decline in the child vaccination of DPT in last 2 years. By 5%, the vaccine coverage has been declined by 5%. So it means less number of children are covered under this vaccine. So they are now vulnerable to the DPT bacteria. Measles vaccine also has been dropped. 24 million, I mean 2.4 crore people, 2.4 crore children across the world have missed the measles vaccine. Similar is the case with polio vaccine, 67 lakh children, and this HPV vaccine has also 3.5 million children have missed their shots. East Asia and Pacific region. Here you will find the steepest reversal in coverage. You will find huge decline in the vaccine coverage. Low and middle income countries like India, Nigeria, Indonesia, Ethiopia, Philippines, they have found the steepest decline in their coverage. But Uganda and Pakistan are the exceptions. They are able to put special efforts on the vaccine coverage. That's why you will not find such decline in these countries. So these facts you do not need to remember, but you need to remember the trends. That vaccine coverage has been declined because of COVID-19. If there is a question in mains of impact of COVID-19, you can write this point. If there is question on vaccination, immunization, etc., you can write these points. So do remember the trends, do not remember the facts. You just can remember that 2.5 crore children have missed on an average the vaccines of measles or DPT or HPV or polio, etc. And highest decline is in East Asia and Pacific region, and in low income and developing countries. All right, so these you need to remember. So what are the issues or reasons for decline in coverage? Because more and more regions in the world are getting conflict prone. Examples like Russia, Ukraine war, Syria, Libya, Afghanistan, etc. So when the whole region is conflict prone, then it is very difficult to administer vaccines to people. Many people are forced to migrate from their native place, and they are reluctant to get their children vaccinated in the new place where they are staying. Then there is problem of language also. Like if there are refugees from Afghanistan in your country and you do not know their language, that is the Afghani language, you do not know, then how you will communicate with them and how you will administer vaccines to them. They're also fearful of vaccine also because they will think that in this vaccine there is a poison and the native government wants to kill them so that they do not remain as burden for them, etc. Then COVID-19 related also issues is there because many misinformation being spread about vaccine that it can cause even infertility or death, etc. It can cause side effects. That's why people becoming more hesitant to get the vaccine. Then again, COVID-19 related issue is that the government start focusing only on the COVID-19. They have neglected other areas of health. They have forgotten the administration of vaccine of polio, HPV, DPT, TB, etc. The whole health system was solely focusing on COVID-19. Then malnutrition is there, because of COVID-19, people are facing dearth of food, coupled with lack of vaccination. You can find that people will be at miserable position. They will be in vulnerable position. Awareness. People either have fear of vaccine, or they have hesitancy of vaccine, or they have ignorance of vaccine. They do not know about the benefits of the vaccine. Even there may be hostility towards the vaccine. Hostility. People many times openly declare that they will not receive the vaccine. Even famous celebrities, you will find that tennis star, I forgot the name. He has openly said that I will not administer COVID-19 vaccine at any cost. Djokovic. That kind of hostility also found in many people. Then people are not ready to give up their daily wages for getting vaccine. Like to get the vaccine, you may need to go to the hospital. There you have to devote your daytime for it, and you may lose your daily wages for that. And sometimes the vaccine causes fever, so you need to take a rest also. So people do not want to lose their daily wages. That's why they do not receive the vaccine. So what is the way forward, or the government steps being taken to promote vaccination? First is intensified mission Indradhanush. We have launched 4.0 version of Indradhanush. Indradhanush basically, you can say, a refurbished or re-christened avatar of universal immunization coverage. That was the program launched in 1985. So here government is saying that we will achieve 90% immunization. We will target those urban areas or those districts where vaccination coverage is low. So in 4.0 and 3.0, government has said that those who have been missed out of the vaccination because of COVID-19, we will identify them and we will provide the vaccination to them. All right. Then routine immunization happens, you may help also get the vaccination time to time. So health officials, Anganwadi workers went, home to home, and they do door to door vaccination of the people. And please remember, under this mission Indradhanush or Universal Immunization Program, 12 life-saving vaccines are being administered to children at different stage of their life, be it TB, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, polio, hepatitis B, pneumonia, meningitis, etc. So please remember these 12 disease of which vaccines are being given under this program, because on this also the question has been framed in the prelims of UPSC. All right. So moving forward to the next topic, I think that is the last but not the least topic of the day, that is Mediation Bill 2021. Mediation Bill 2021. So basically, what the news is, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Law and Justice, it has submitted its report and it has given many recommendations regarding changes in the mediation bill. It wants to reduce this mediation bill was introduced in the Rajya Sabha and then it was given to the Parliamentary Committee. It has examined the bill in detail. That's why it has given multiple recommendations to improvise the bill. All right. So now you should first understand what is mediation. You know that more than 3 crore cases are pending in our judiciary. We need to reduce this backlog. So mediation offers a solution to it for dispute resolution. For dispute resolution. You do not need to go to the court to get your dispute resolved. You can resolve your dispute through mediation. Because if you go to the courts, you will find adversarial climate there. Like your lawyer and the rival party lawyer will be fighting in the court. And here, zero-sum game is being played. Zero-sum game is like either I win or you win. Either I win or you win. Only one party will win the case. So there is always an element of dissatisfaction. In losing party mind in the traditional court setup. Also, the traditional court hearings is going to put you huge financial burden. It is also going to consume your huge time because these proceedings are quite long drawn. And these hearings are also technical and complex to be understood. These hearings are led by the lawyers and they know the legal technical language of the law, and you are at the mercy of the judge or the lawyer to get your dispute resolved. So this mediation process is basically trying to resolve all these issues of traditional court setup. So it's a voluntary process. Here both parties voluntarily ready to join the mediation process. Here there is a mediator who try to resolve the conflict by promoting communication between the disputing parties. It helps the disputing parties to reach at a settlement. Because you know that for a dispute, first and foremost reason is miscommunication. So this mediation promote communication between the disputing entities so that they can arrive at a solution. So mediation is the part of ADR. ADR is basically alternative dispute resolution. Other components of alternative dispute resolution is arbitration, negotiation, conciliation, etc. So mediation is also one of the part of ADR. So what happens in this mediation? This mediator first will take the viewpoint of first party. It will present this viewpoint to second party. Then it will take the response or feedback of second party and will communicate to the first party. And then first party response will be communicated to second party. And this process will continue until a common ground is formed. A common settlement ground is formed. So let me give you example. Supreme Court has mandated mediation in Ayodhya case, Ram Janambhoomi, Babri Masjid case. So here the mediation panel was consisting of Shri Ravi Shankar, a famous mediator lawyer of Shri Ram, I forget his name. So basically what the mediators do, they first went to Hindu parties. So they were saying that we do not want every masjid to get demolished. We want this Ram Mandir to be built on the alleged Babri Masjid land site. So he has communicated this to Muslim parties. Muslim party says that they have destroyed the masjid. It was an illegal act. So they should not have demolished the masjid. Then if they allowed the mandir to be built there, then they will start claiming other masjids to get demolished so that a new mandir can be built over there. So Hindu party says that we will not do that. Then Muslim party says that what is the guarantee that they will not do that in future? So basically the communication was facilitated between the two disputing parties. But no common ground, no settlement ground was able to be found out by the mediator. That's why mediation failed. But if suppose both parties get agreed, then settlement will be reached and that settlement will be binding. That settlement will be binding and there will be no appeal to that settlement. Then no party can go to the court against that settlement. Why? Because now both parties has agreed to this settlement. Because both parties has agreed to this settlement. So this is what mediation is. So this mediation can resolve a large number of disputes, be it of family disputes like between husband and wife regarding divorce or child adoption, etc., or be it commercial disputes like between suppose Anil Ambani and Mukesh Ambani regarding ownership of Reliance, or Tata and Cyrus Mistry regarding the control of Tata Group, etc. So these kind of multiple disputes can be resolved through mediation. So that's why objective of this mediation bill is to settle these civil commercial courts by mediation so that court dependency can be reduced, cases pendency in the courts or tribunals can be reduced. So it says that 180 days will be the time limit within which mediation need to be completed. If the parties want, then it can extend it by another 180 days. Mediation council will be established that will regulate the mediation process in the country. It will make sure that mediators are registered. Mediators are going to be professional lawyers who are expert in mediation. So these mediators will be registered, mediation institutes will be registered, and there will be rules so that these mediation institutes does not cheat the people, does not fraud the people. So what are the issues that has been highlighted by the Rajya Sabha Standing Committee? It says that it should not be made mandatory. It should be voluntary. It should not be applied immediately. Like this act should be applied in phases manner, like over the period of 5 years or 10 years or so, this act should be applied. It should not be like that from the next year onwards, all the cases will be decided by mediation. No. Step by step, it should allow the cases to be handled through mediation. All right. And then it says that mediation council, its qualification, its appointment process should be listed in act itself, and a committee should be there. A selection committee should be there so that neutral, impartial, professional person can be appointed to mediation council so that it can regulate the mediation sector in independent and professional manner. All right. Then state mediation council should also be established. That is recommended by this panel. And every mediation service provider should be given unique registration number so that that mediation service provider or institute can be better regulated. It also said that this mediation time should be reduced from 180 days to 90 days, and this extension period of 180 days should be reduced to 60 days. All right. So that are basically the recommendations of parliamentary panel or mediation bill. So direct question can be asked in prelims and mains because it's part of your polity syllabus, that is judiciary. All right. So in prelims and mains, a direct question can be asked. So you can be asked in mains about importance or limitations of the mediation bill. So both things we have discussed. So, and the recommendations also we have discussed. So a very good answer you can write by the points we have discussed in the class. So I will again ask you to please revise it again and again so that it can keep in your mind, so that you can keep the information in your mind and can express it in the final examination. All right. So if you have any doubt, you can contact me regarding current affairs and we will resolve it. So that's all for today. I wish you all happy learning and thank you very much to all of you. So important news that need to be picked from the newspaper. You can pick first national, international important news you have to pick up. So you can skip the political news, you can skip the state news, you can skip the sports news, entertainment news, etc. And second, you need to keep syllabus of the UPSC in the mind, and anything which is related to the UPSC syllabus, you have to pick that news. Then you have to study previous year questions also. From there you will get the idea how the questions are framed from the current affairs. Then fourth, basically whatever news is there in the paper, you have to understand the concept behind it. You have to go through the analysis of the given topic. That is basically most asked in UPSC, whether it is prelims or mains. For that, greater the newspaper reading become easy when the static portion is covered of the syllabus. So you need to just do the value addition to the given information that you have already covered in polity or in geography or environment or economy. But it's the very nature of the current affairs that it will be updating over the course of time. You will find that you will get some more updates next week or next month or even 2 months after that. So there are going to be two kind of updates, like one is minor and second is major. So minor updates does not matter much. So major updates, you have to again read the news in detail. So we covered the given topic in quite depth in the class. So minor, if there is any minor update to the given topic, then we skip in the class, we do not cover it. But if there is any major update, then we recover it again in the class. For that, you need to be regular while covering the current affairs. So that's all for today. I wish you all happy learning and thank you very much to all of you.